Shalom, Nasharallah. It's your brother Darash Mark, and I'm back with another video. Actually, this is like, I don't know, the third remake of this thing. It's Lakia for those who saw the first version that didn't have any sound. All right, the second one, it just cut off on me. So, here we go again. I'm affiliate of the GMS Boise, Idaho camp, and I'm back with another lesson. So before we jump into it, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone for bringing out this truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect, which includes the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there scattered around the world, including those speckled bird Israelites who may look like the other nations. You see, this is not a black thing. The Israelites, they were scattered amongst these nations as a punishment for their sins against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, and they mingled with these nations. They picked up their cultures, their habits, all their, wickedness. All right, and they look like these nations. But you are who you are according to the seed of your father. So it's not about skin color. It's not about appearance. Okay, so this word goes out to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, as the scriptures were only written unto the nation of Israel. So I'm going to title this one, For Thy Violence Against Thy Brother. All right, speaking about Esau, Edom, okay, who we know in the book of Genesis, 27th chapter, he said that he was going to slay his brother, all right? And his brother being Jacob, the modern-day Israelites, when Esau being the modern-day abominable snowman, the troglodyte from the Caucasus Mountains, okay, who calls himself the white man, but his skin is not white. He has pale, translucent skin so you can see his blood, hence the scriptures refer to him as red, okay? So, this man has been doing Jake dirty, even from, slavery time, all right? And he continues to slay Jake, all right? This video is actually, inspired by, seen an old video from 2024, where this Jake was driving and this cop was stopped at the red light. And then Jake stopped behind the cop. And then once the light turned green, the cop didn't move. So the Jake blew the horn, and then the cop moved. Well, the cop then decided to follow Jake home. And Jake got out the car, picked up his trash can, was about to, bring it inside or whatever. And the cop arrested him for frivolous use of the horn. And he hurt Jake's arm during that process. Okay? And a couple of things stood out to me. A lot of our people don't understand that we're slaves in this society. Yes, we've progressed from chattel slavery, but we're still in a debt slavery, okay? And so we still have to be cautious of this man, okay? We have to be cautious of the man with the power to kill. We're not supposed to be meddling with him, all right? Yes, we have to be cautious. We don't have, freedoms and all of that stuff like they try to sell us. You're still a slave, even though you can't wrap your mind around it, Jake, okay? And these people are your oppressors that are ruling over you. They are your enemies. They're not your friends, okay? You might, have some that you get along with, but the real deal is they are your greatest enemy, okay? That's the reality of the situation, right? So you need to be careful. Things are about to pick up, and this devil is really, really starting to show his horns, all right? So we're really seeing, what's happening as far as Jacob's trouble, okay? Things are starting to pick up. Predominantly they're targeting Jake, but all right, with this immigration stuff, okay, they'll take out their own people, okay? So how can, Esau be good to him, to anybody else if he can't even be good to himself, all right? These elites don't even care about these lower-level Edomites. But who cares about that? Okay, who cares what happened to these heathens? The scriptures say that they are nothing, all right? So Esau is going to be punished for what he did to Jake, all right? And all that wickedness, all right? And then we got MLK day coming up. I'm surprised DJ Trump ain't got rid of that, even though MLK was a sellout. Okay, but that's probably why they're keeping his day up, or maybe it'll change. I'll have to look into it. But anyway, we got to stay circumspect, in these last days. We got to look forward to the downfall of our enemy, Esau Edom, because his time is coming. All right? Like Yahweh Shai said, I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. And when watching this country collapse, these patriots and Democrats and, even these maggots, they're disappointed at what this man is doing. Like, they're happy that he's persecuting, Jake and these liberals and whatever. But this is negatively affecting everybody. Okay? So this is a burning ship that's sinking. All right? And it's being driven by a blind captain who's driving them right into destruction. Well, let's start off with the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, in verse 10. And it says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." Okay? So this is the reason that Esau is going to get punished, the way he did. All right? So he's moving without mercy. All right? And he's touching the apple of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's eye. All right? So that shame, okay, is going to cover him. So it's starting off with that shameful spewing upon his glory. All right? So he used to be happy and proud about, what he had done. Okay? And then they started to be shamed for it. So they started trying to change history and, cover up stuff, what they have done. Okay? So one thing I think people don't, think about is the fact that these people are the cavemen. They're troglodytes. The Dark Ages was when they were in the Caucasus Mountains, man. All right? Being base men, very low. Got fleas crawling all on them, all of that stuff. Okay? And when they came out there, they had to be taught how to be civilized and how to be humans because they were basically animals. Right? You got to know that. That's important history. That's why they don't, talk about the Dark Ages like that. All right? Because it was them, they were shut up. Okay? And then once they came out, the Renaissance, the rebirth, that was them coming back out and taking over. Okay? So don't be believing everything that this devil tell you. All right? So he's, and now these elites will be like, no, we're not going to be ashamed of this. We're going to be proud of how we conquered the world and all these atrocities that we did, okay? On the manifest destiny stuff. All right, so that's the pride of their heart, man. And they think that they could take on the whole world. All right? So, and it says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." Okay? So he is going to get erased, wiped out. Okay? That's the fate of Esau Edom. All right? So he's not going to get to build any cities. He's not going to get to inhabit them. His generations are not going to go on forever. See, after these other nations get their punishment, they are going to be able to reestablish themselves and build under the rulership of Yasharallah. Okay? So it's not like they're just going to, be free and frolic and do what they want and return to their wickedness. No. All right? They're going to be subject to us. Okay? Now let's go to Ezekiel chapter 35. In verse 5, and it says, "Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end." Okay? So that's that same hatred that's been carried over all the way from, Adam and Eve time. Okay? When Yahweh was like, "I will put enmity between thy seed and her seed." Okay, speaking about, the serpent whose seed became Esau Edom, and her seed, which is talking about the Israelites. Okay, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. So remember, he said he'll go slay his brother Jacob, and Jacob became Israel, and Israel became the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So this man is still slaying us, okay? And when, this is it, man. Like, this is our last captivity, all right? We from under the whole chattel slavery thing, but this man continued to oppress Jake, continued to do him dirty, all right? Verse 6 says, therefore, as I live, said Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, and even blood shall pursue thee. So this man loves to spill everybody else's blood. Okay, that's his thing. That's his MO. That's all he does. He don't want his own blood spilled like that, but his blood is gonna get slayed, man. Gonna get spilled. All right. So it's unavoidable because of the things that he has done. So that's what's gonna come upon him. All right. So this place, Babylon the Great, is going to get turned into that giant altar, all right, that they talk about in the book of Isaiah, all right. Yahweh had a sacrifice in Basra. So all these Edomites will get slayed. And then whatever other heathens are here, when their missiles drop, they getting done too. They going to be part of the sacrifice. Sad part about it, 2/3 of our people got to get there too, okay, because they don't believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not taking heed to this warning. Okay, to the things that are coming. All right. Verse 7. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate. Okay, so Mount Seir is over there in modern day Jordan. Okay, that's where Esau is from. That's his homeland. Okay, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. So he's saying, I'm gonna do away with Edom. Like all of the Edomites, they gotta get gone. They're going to get wiped out. Of course, they got to go through their 1,000 years of captivity first. All right? Now, these people over here in Babylon the Great, once they get done, they're going to be reincarnated through their people. Okay? That's just how it works. If you can receive it, you can receive it. If not, that's too bad. Verse 8, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. All right? So there's a lot of death coming to Esau, Edom. All right? So, the scriptures talk about in the book of Revelations, okay, talking about to slay the third part of men, these plagues, okay, speaking of those missiles that are coming, all right, and these wars that are coming, all right, that's what World War I, World War II, okay, it was an Edomites warring, okay, for the most part. And here, World War III coming. It's predominantly Edomites too, man. These other nations go, hop off any too, man. All right, because every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. And speaking of these workers. Verse 9. I will make thee perpetual desolations, man. They ain't never rebuilding. They ain't never inhabiting the cities. Nope. And thy city shall not return. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. All right, so they're going to be forced, okay, into subjection. Before they get done away, they're going to know that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua did this to them, okay? All that pride that they got, that shit going to be gone. Now, let's get the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 21. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Yeah, it's your turn. You up now to get this ass whooping, Esau, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. That cup of destruction, man, these curses, all of that's coming on Esau. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Everything you tried to hide and cover up gonna be exposed, man. Everybody gonna know you the troglodyte, man. They gonna know all of this wickedness that you've done in the earth, and you're not gonna escape. Not at all. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So the Israelites, this is your last captivity, okay? This is it. So be happy, Rejoice. Right? And for all the people in this truth and in this faith that's believing, stay strong. Believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, we almost up out of here. All right, almost. Okay, all we got to do is endure to the end, man. I know that's easier said than done, but things about to get hard, man. All right, it be the times of Jacob's trouble, and that's where we at. And you see the prophecies, they popping off. All right, so Esau is no longer have that dominion over us. We get to watch him fall, so enjoy it. Yeah, we got to go through some suffering too, but we know our end is going to be glorious, okay? His end, he should have gave some thought to it because it's going to be despicable. He says, "O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins." All right, so he's not getting that pass, or he never got a pass, but that, punishment for his evil works just wasn't dealt out expediently. Okay, we got chastised like children, but now his judgment is fixing to come all at once, man. So I hope this short lesson was edifying. Salakia for the multiple remakes, but I'm going to have to verify that this one works before I upload it. So, Shalom, y'all. Bashim Yahushua, Barakatah. Shalom, Israel.